Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Thank you for tuning into this video. Since we have terminated one of Iran's officials, they are looking to retaliate and have been posting threats. So this is definitely putting the world of precious metals on edge, and this is exactly what this video is going to be talking about. What will gold and silver do in this period of time? Right now, we do see prices all across the board in the green area, but how long is this going to stay? Is there going to be a correction happening? And this is all that's going to be and put in this video. So make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, because I do post daily videos. The link to this article will be in the description. So gold traders will be watching the next week to see whether US-Iran tensions continue to escalate. If so, if it keeps escalating, that could keep a bid under the gold market, or at least the stave off any large corrections lower after the recent run-up in prices. So they're saying that there is supposed to be a correction happening sooner than later, since silver and gold are up so much. But if tensions rise, we might not see that correction. We might not see that drop in price. So anyways, since the precious metals is often bought as safe haven play at times of geopolitical crisis, observers suggested, should tensions abate, however, there is potential for profit taking. Traders will also tune into a heavy slate of U.S. economic data, including the monthly jobs report. Market participants will want to keep a keen eye on the U.S.-Iran headlines and see how this plays out. So a late week with U.S. airstrike, Baghdad killed Qasem, I'm not going to try to say his last name, but he's the commander of Iran's elite Quds force. The U.S. administration said the strike was to disrupt an imminent attack that would have endangered U.S. citizens in the Middle East. So meanwhile, Iran has promised to revenge against the criminals who killed the Iranian general. The incidents came after the preliminary militia members attacked by the U.S. embassy in Iraq after earlier U.S. strike in the militia. So the next market week is going to be focused on Iran's response, if any, and Iran has vowed harsh revenge. I don't know if that means, I don't know how quickly they'll come, but it tends to be consistent when they make statements like that. It means something is likely going to happen. So this is definitely going to be pushing people in a very, very panic-like state. This is when precious metals capitalize. I mean, it's a safe haven metal. Anytime people are little skeptical, uneasy, uncertain, when it's political, economical, whether it's war tensions, whatever the case is, when it's a threat, they kind of go towards things that can have real value, that can back up not just the dollar's collapse, or not only just because the dollar's so wishy-washy, but something that has fundamental uses. And gold and silver is the perfect way to preserve your wealth or transfer it, especially during times like this. So we definitely are probably going to see precious metals across the board higher as people transfer their money or invest into this safe haven alternative. So against the backdrop, Hug said he would not anticipate a significant sell-off unless everything dies down. And right now, especially with U.S.-China trade negotiations, with the Trump's impeachment, with this going on, it's probably not going to die down. Controversy spreads like wildfire. People are in a very panic-like state. Emotional involvement, emotional attachment definitely runs higher during these times. So as long as it even goes on to say, as long as there's no further worrisome headlines, markets should die down. The correction would take place, but it's probably not going to be like that or like so. So McKay pointed out that the fears in the war in Iran caused equities to tumble on Friday, sending gold higher. So as of 12:05 p.m. Eastern Standard, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 165 points, while gold spot price was nearly $20 higher. Look at this spike up right here. So you see, anytime there's a huge spike like this, look at this pattern. Huge spike, fall, correction. Huge spike, correction. Huge spike, correction. Huge spike, correction. Huge spike, correction. Huge spike. So there should be a correction happening, but it could go higher if this does not die down. This is something that's definitely interesting. You need to be observing these markets, keeping a keen and watchful eye over them, as things could play out much different, and you can profit off of this, obviously, trading. If you are a marginal trader, or even just, or if you are in the ETFs or whatever you're doing, even in stocks, you can make profits. If you are looking at this as a cash grab or as a quick buck, then be very careful. I definitely think the majority of people that are doing this are doing it for longer term. I mean, once markets die down or if prices die, I'm sure there'll be a lot of panic selling. But right now, it looks like there is a lot of impulse buying. So any retaliation and how that plays out will be the top of the mind for the gold market, which is definitely true. I'll be updating you guys. That's why it's always important to stay subscribed and to tune into these videos, because I will give you on a day-to-day basis with the most fresh, recent, up-to-date news in the world of precious metals. So otherwise, Hugs suspects the gold market may be overextended after a recent run-up. If the U.S.-Iranian situation had not materialized, gold might have run into selling in the form of profit-taking as people capitalize. And this means that as gold was up $20+, people want to capitalize on that, take some profits and sell, and that would have pushed the price back down. So the primary thing that I'd be concerned about is escalation with Iran. I think it's going to keep the market bid. I just can't see people selling this market short and getting out until they see the issue with Iran is solved, which is definitely true. And this is just the beginning of this stuff. So I really couldn't see this getting resolved anytime soon. They still haven't even retaliated to some extent yet. And we don't even know what the retaliation is or to what degree. And if it is something that's going to be bigger, then this could definitely be a very, very, very scary situation, but also a profitable one. And it's interesting how gold and silver kind of profit or capitalize from bad situations. It's a lose-win situation. Like, it sucks, but you can make money off of it, and that's really why you got, it's interesting to invest in, but you do have to be aware of how these markets work and to what extent do they perform under. So should that happen, he continued, U.S.-Iran tensions would be the most likely catalyst. He does not see the U.S. dollar coming under severe pressure, which tends to support gold, which is also true. U.S. dollar index is usually it's like a magnet compared to gold. When the dollar index is low, gold is high. When the dollar index is high, gold is low. But he says it doesn't seem like it's under severe pressure. So meanwhile, McKay noted that there is heavy slate of U.S. economic data this week. Perhaps the biggest report will be monthly on data of the non-farm payrolls due out Friday. A consensus forecast compiled of Bloomberg looks for hiring to slow down 160,000 new jobs from 266,000 in November. So a major report includes the factory orders of the Institute Supply Management of Non-Factoring Index on Tuesday, the ADB private sector job report on Wednesday, and the weekly jobless claims on Thursday. Should economic data be weaker, gold will likely remain underpinned. This further reduces any chance of Federal Reserve rate hikes and could even mean potential for a cut. Gold tends to fare well in low-rate environment. Now, we always know when the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates, this is definitely something that's good for gold and silver. So they're saying that this could also be, there's just so many things that are putting gold and silver in a very highly opportunistic and highly potential spot. So I don't think you'll get any major sell-offs on stronger data, mainly because the Fed seems willing to let the growth run hotter and inflation run hotter, rather than stepping in to increase rates under the scenario. The strategist commented that next week will be the first regular week of trading in the new year, with value likely picking up since many market participants are still away from their trading stations during the holiday season, which is definitely true. I don't think a lot of people incorporate that as well. It's stuff to think about. The U.S. impeachment saga is a non-story for the gold market, and they're saying that even though Trump is impeached, it's really not affecting prices in the precious metals world. But even if the U.S. House of Representatives sends the articles of impeachment against President Donald Trump to the Senate, Republican majority Senate have made it clear they opposed impeachment. I don't think the impeachment issue is going to be significant for the gold market. So a lot of different things here. Mainly the war with, or the potential war with Iran. This situation is on the front burner of the gold and silver investors, the people that are stacking, investing, trading in this market. And this is because that not only will this bring in new money, new people looking forward to it, but it also will give so many other doorways or openings to what else is going to be happening. It's kind of like a domino effect. If this gets more severe, what is this going to do to stocks? What's it going to do to our dollar index? FOMC, there's so many different things, so it's kind of like a domino effect, and this is why it's so important to stay tuned, because this could highly affect how you invest your money. And I definitely think that staying subscribed to channels like this, keeping a watchful eye, even if you are in it for the longer term, even if it doesn't matter what the day-to-day price of precious metals are, it still is important stuff to keep a watchful eye out, especially because it's something this severe. Who knows what the outcome is going to be? Hopefully it's nothing too tragic or anything too dramatic. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully I wrapped up and summarized what's going on right now in the world of precious metals. This is some stuff that we definitely need to stay put on, but in the meantime, I'm curious to hear what you guys have to think. What do you think the price of precious metals are going to be doing in the meantime? Do you think there will be a correction, or do you think that as tensions rise, gold and silver will keep rising as well? Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.